Welcome to Herd Summer Racing League, Race 8, the final race of this season. There will hopefully be a Season 3, but for now this is the finish one, and what a finish it is. 53.2 kilometers, 7 segments. This is a points race. The points on those 7 segments count, and of course your finish position counts. In the final race, we've got Marcus in the tied with Ollie. As of race 6 are those latest results I have. Unfortunately, Ollie catted up to C, and so he's not going to be able to participate. Marcus is traveling this weekend, so he is not here. This will be his drop race. That gives me an opening. I am 2 points behind mathematically. Can I catch him? Honestly, I don't know. I haven't done the math. But I'll tell you what, if you're going to go for a GC win, you can't be coming in wanting to go play second or third. You better be talking about placing first no matter what happens. So the race here is really between ATP and Herd. You'll see a lot of Herd riders today. There are quite a few ATP out here. The Herd riders, I called for some help, and we had quite a few people come in to try and help me win this thing for the GC. Mudge from the Gorillas came in, and he's on the road DS today. Bill from Gorillas is helping. We've got Kent, who stepped up. Lyon's a new Herd racer. He's been racing in the Herd Summer Racing League, but didn't have a club. Welcome to the club, Lyons. We got Morgan from the Herd. He came in and helped us out. We've got John Keenan, a C rider. He was with the C's, and then when they caught us, he dropped back and was helping us try and pull through. And the same thing with Lampard, a C rider who caught up with us and then helped us through this. We've got Manson, who tried to get in here but was unable to. Monson, I'm sorry I said that wrong, Christian. And then we've got Joe, who was in this race, but I think we kind of killed him on the first couple of climbs. Appreciate the effort of coming in and trying to help the Herd riders. ATP, dangerous people on the road today. Sherry, always tough anytime there's a climb, and a lot of this is climbing. There are only 2 KOM segments, but there are a lot of climbs that are uncategorized for us today. We've got Thomas, who is tough. I have not beat him on the road. I've been able to catch him on points sometimes, but he has definitely got some power in his legs. Both, I feel like he's an all-arounder. He can climb and he can attack when he needs to. Those are the dangerous folks to watch. I think there's one more ATP out here. Ed is out here as well. Santon, he's on screen right now. And 3 dangerous people. They didn't bring as many folks in, but they certainly brought some high-caliber people to race with us. Here we are in the first climb, uncategorized, nothing happening here. What we're going to see is a sprint at the top of this climb. We're closing in on that, and I'm letting this run a little bit. Honestly, I don't think I can take this 2-hour race and turn it into 12 minutes. We'll compress it as much as we can, but since we're almost to this first sprint point, let's just see it go together. You can see most of the Herd riders are in red and black. As the race splinters up a little bit, you'll see different. There's Brian Mudge in his Sunset. He's our DS for this. He's trying to set up this sprint. It's a little chaotic with so many folks in it, but the sprint point is coming up just around this bend right here. And of course, Thomas is going to be behind me because Thomas is always behind me, and there's Ed behind me. We're off and headed into that green banner, and look at Ed nip me at the line. Let's take a look at what the results are. So on the first sprint, for 50 points to the winner, and that goes to Ed. I came in second. Thomas from ATP came in third. Joe Marino right there on fourth with a strong sprint. Sherry came in fifth. So on the first sprint, we have 3 ATP to grabbing the top 5 points there. Speed things up because now we have we have a long ride to the next one. Next one gets more exciting because the next 3 sprints you only have like 1.5 kilometers to rest, and it's just going to be bang, bang, bang. So really for the Herd, this turned into a really amazing team race because I put the call out on the Facebook page, let them know that I was attempting to pull the GC win off of ATP here, and all these folks showed up just to help pull me through. So it's an incredible team effort, and amazing that the Herd would step up like this just to help one rider through it. So that's why I'm trailing off the back. We have mostly Herd on the front trying to set the pace for us. ATP, of course, taking full advantage of that draft. They know what we're doing. These are some pretty smart racers with some really good history of racing. I don't want to share too much personal stuff for them. They can let me know if they want to share more of it later. But they know how to race, and they know how to DS races, and we're not going to be fooling them with any kind of tactics. It's just a matter of trying to stay in front. This is just one of the uncategorized climbs for us today. We're just heading on out. We're trying to set a nice, easy pace so that everybody can rest up for a little bit before we head on into the sprints that are coming up. It is quite a long, I believe it's a little over 3K for this climb. And we're trying to do it somewhere just over 2 watts per kilogram as D riders. And like I said, not burn ourselves out. I was drifting off the back a little bit. My legs were a little heavy here at the beginning. I don't know what to do when you're trying to prepare for a 2-hour race, how much warm-up you put in. That was part of my struggle. Here we are getting ready to start the next segment of 3 sprints in a row. They start at 13. We'll slow it down as we get to them and take each one at a time. Got to really balance out your energy on these. That's the hard part. Getting positions on these sprints are tough. I mean, I like the fact that I'm behind Thomas right here because I always feel like when I go into sprint, he's on my wheel instead of me on his. But I want to start accelerating, and I start accelerating, and look, Thomas lets me, and now all of a sudden he's on my wheel again. That's just ridiculous. He outsmarts me on all of those. But here we go through the sprint. And again, we got another one coming up, but let's see how we all finish here. So Castle Park Sprint Reverse, we've got Ed again first. I'm in second. Thomas is in third. Sherry is in fourth, and Mudge came in fifth. Now what my team's trying to do here, the herd is trying to lead me out and then fall back and let me take the highest spot that I can get. And that's what we're going to be doing on every single one of these sprints that we're getting into. Quick, short breather here before we get into the next one. We're setting up for the alley sprint reverse. I'm just trying to catch my breath for a minute, stay at the back. There go the C's. And, well, no one wants to go with, oh, I don't know. I didn't want to go with the C's right now. I wanted to breathe. But the B's were actually had hooked up with the C's, so it was just a mass of folks going by us at this point. I was just trying to make sure I stayed in the wind. That's all I cared about. Wasn't worried about moving up because I was starting to feel the effect of all that. Of course, a bunch of herd riders going by. It makes all sorts of confusion on the road at this point. And then we're trying to reset. We're in chat. We're in Discord trying to find everybody again. Reset as we go into the sprint zone right about here. We just passed it. There it is. And now I'm just trying to stay steady. Just diesel it through. This is a long one. We're looking at 480 meters for this sprint. We really don't want to give up too much. Notice I'm not using my power-ups. My companion app on the phone would not connect, and my keyboard was too far away to hit, so I'm doing this all with raw power. And finishing for the alley sprint ended up being Sherry taking first place, Thomas in second, Ed in third, ATP sweeping 1, 2, 3 through all those points. I came in fourth, and Morgan came in fifth for the herd. Now at this point, again, I am hurting. I'm just trying to catch my breath. I know I've got Railway coming up, and then we got the rooftop climb. So I'm starting to drop off the back a bit. My team starts to fall back. These guys are very much aware of where I'm at all times. They did an excellent job of paying attention to where everybody was. I'm going to speed this up just a bit. We got 2K before the next sprint. I wasn't doing so hot here on this one. I don't know if it was a bad warm-up or what was going on, but now with the climb coming up, more than likely Sherry's going to attack and take off because from here on out it's a lot of climbing, so she knows she can take that all the way to the finish. And I know that Thomas likes to attack as well, so I'm expecting him to go off. And honestly, I'm just trying to breathe. If you look at my watts, I mean, I'm just dropping off. And it's not where it needs to be for what we're going to be starting up here. But here comes the sprint. I've struggled to get to the start of the sprint point. I know I'm not going to be able to absolutely power it, but it is a longer sprint as well. It's 480 meters, another one of those. So I figure I better just try and diesel my way through this. So as we're coming up on the start point, I decide that I'm just going to do what I can. I'm probably not going to be hitting red numbers. I'm not going to be able to attack it hard. So I try to just find something a little over 4 and hold that. 3.9, not quite over 4, but to see the team led me out and then let me get on ahead. They're trying to encourage me to go, and I am trying, but there's not much in these legs right now. I tail gunned, so I knew I was okay on this finish. Let's see how this one ended up. I don't think anybody was more surprised than me to see that I actually came in first on that. I guess everybody was hurting after those prior 2 sprints. But Ed came in second, just keeping his high point total coming in. Sherry came in third. We've got Morgan from the herd coming in fourth. And Bill from the Gorillas, who's also helping us right today, came in fifth. And I appreciate that, grabbing at least a couple points off of Thomas now. So for once, herd ended up with 3 out of the 5 points, with ATP taking the other 2. Now, at this point, there was a lot of stuff going on in this race. First off, Sherry, basically ATP guys took off the top, Sherry, Ed, and Thomas. And another herd guy was racing up there, Ernst, and they took off. So we'd split up. So at this point, the only people around me are the folks who came to help me ride. I believe there's 7 of us. John's here in the green jersey. We've got Lampard in here coming up. He's going to have the red or the orange bandana in his hair. There he went. And they're just trying to get me up this climb, and I am hurting. So the distance between the leaders is getting further and further. But at this moment, if I remember right, the point totals on the road had me tied for second place with Thomas. I believe that was it. Might have been a solo second at this point. But we know that the climbs are coming up, and that's ATP strengths. The goal for this race was for me to try and take the sprints, which was not happening at this point. And I am just struggling. I mean, look at this, 100 watts coming up this thing. I am struggling, and this team of mine is just taking turns pulling me back up to the group. They're doing everything they can to keep me motivated. And what a relief it was to finally get to the top. Now, while we're coasting down, I did rearrange my PC keyboard so I could finally reach it and begin to trigger some of those power-ups. But I can't thank this team enough. I mean, look at this group pretty much hauling me around through this entire race. I would not have been able, I probably would have finished, but it would have been a miserable finish without this team. So a big shout out to the herd and all that they've did to try and make this work for us. We have a long way coming up before we get to anything interesting. We're going to end up at the Castle KOM at 30K, but we need to leave town. And like I have said before, I'm really not a big fan of all these neon lights. I really like riding out in the country, so I'm looking forward to finding this turn that's going to get us out of here and back into some trees and grass. Basically, I was resting at this point. I mean, resting something terrible. I mean, this is a race, and I'm doing 100, 150 watts. Just terrible. But we get back out to some greenery, and that is good. We're halfway point of the race is when we came out of that tunnel. There is a long way to go, and yes, we might be at 53 minutes, but the climbs are coming up. We've still got Castle and we've got Temple. So same thing's going on here. I'm just trying to stay on the back. They're trying to make sure I do all right, don't fall off. They put Bill behind me to make sure if I drop, they'd give me a good shout out, and the team would adjust. So we're trying to get ready for the climb because we know I've got to get points on this climb now. But how do you take points away from Sherry and Thomas? And of course, little did I know, Ed is just another powerhouse. I hadn't really raced with Ed much. Sherry and Thomas I've seen quite a bit throughout this series. So let's see, 30K, we're coming up on it pretty close right here. This KOM starts on the flat, so it catches you a little bit off guard. And it is coming up there. I believe we crossed it. So now, there it is. All right, so now we're on the KOM. All this counts. So I'm trying to pick it up a little bit. And the interesting thing was that even though I felt miserable through all those sprints, which is supposed to be my thing, the more I climbed Castle, the better I began to feel. My power numbers were going to begin going up. There was just something about climbing that was just refreshing mentally or something. But the team's still doing the same strategy as before. They have some in front and they've got some in back. They're giving me targets to chase on the front side. They got people in back in case I start to drop, in which case they'll jump ahead of me and pull me back up. A lot of good folks in my ear telling me to get moving. You know how nice people are when they're yelling at you to get moving, and I really appreciate that because I respond well to that kind of stuff. So here we are finishing up Castle. We've got to go around here, come to the back side before we see that banner, and there's the banner. We're going to slow it down as we talk about the finishers because honestly, moving at that fast speed on that video sometimes just makes my head spin. Castle KOM top finishers, Thomas, ATP, Austin Williams. Austin Williams was a late sign-up here. I think he signed up like 15 minutes before, so he just came in out of nowhere. He's got no tag, so I'm not sure what he was doing, racing for himself, or if he's got a team hidden back there somewhere. And yeah, Austin came in second. Sherry came in third, as expected. Ed came in fourth, so we've got 3 ATPs taking top 4 points. I came in fifth. I was actually, well, a good 27 seconds, now 17 seconds back. So they're really crushing us on those KOMs. But I'm feeling a lot better after that KOM, and I'm starting to feel ready to go. Not exactly looking forward to Temple. I don't think anybody looks forward to Temple, but I'm certainly willing to challenge it. Now, I'm finding that watching this race back at these speeds, it doesn't look nearly as bad as it felt when you're doing it live. But we don't get to go at 400 speed or 800 speed when we're racing this thing. But here's the team, once again doing what a team does. They're keeping me in the group, pulling me up, pushing me to get up a little bit of speed. I'm obviously recovering again, another low hundreds as we're trying to go through this. We only have a little bit of an easy lap here before we're going to turn right back up and head on up Temple. And we know we've got to get points on Temple. I think I dropped to third at this point with on the road points, and there are a lot of finish points up for grabs, and I'm not going to get finished because Austin, who we talked about a minute ago, he's on up the road as well. So we're not going to be able to catch them. I mean, the time difference is just too high. Here we are turning under the gravel, getting ready to head on up Temple. Start of Temple is there. Temple's really not that bad of a climb. I mean, yeah, the 9%ers start to hurt a little bit, but at this point I was starting to feel pretty good. Why did it take me a whole hour and 11 minutes to begin to feel good in this race? I don't know, but I really wanted to attack this climb and see what I could pull off. I felt like I could have done better on Castle, and so I did not want to ease off a little bit because seconds matter on this thing. And of course, when you're at the 9% grades, that's the most important attack on a climb because that's where you're going to be able to make up the most ground on people. Also, don't think I've ever gone through this when it's all been lit up like this. That was a first. I actually must have been feeling pretty good because I noticed that during the race. And not often when I'm racing in oxygen deprived, all I see is the person in front of me. And again, the team is doing exactly what I need. They've got a few people in front who are trying to hold a heavy pace so I can chase them, and a few people behind who are supposed to be watching me. At least that's what they told me they were doing. I know the gap keeps getting big, but I'm sure that they were just watching me to make sure I don't fall back. Right, guys? So now we've got John with me, got Lyons with me, got Mudge with me, and always someone is in front of me trying to push me to go a little bit faster and a little bit faster. And again, as we're heading up this thing, it can be enjoyable. I don't know why. I guess if you like climbing, it's enjoyable. I like the pressure on the legs as we get up to these high 9%, 7% stuff. But I also know that we're almost to the top because we're going to have this flat spot, and then we're going to be at the top. And now for me, it's a bit of a game to see if I can push John and Lyons as well to make them work extra hard. So I'm constantly trying to catch up to them. And there you go. All of a sudden, the climb isn't as bad because you're playing a little game with your buddies as you're heading up this climb. One more, John's left, and actually Lyons is going to come right on the flying by here as well. And I love it. I appreciate that. There's an ATP. I get excited and then realize that's not my category ATP because, I mean, who's going to catch Sherry and Thomas on a climb? I don't know. Not me. At least not yet, guys. I'll keep trying. So now we're heading up to the flat spot, and it's going to be a little bit of a sprint. I did save the arrow. I do have power-ups available. I can reach my keyboard now, so I'm trying to time this thing just right. Lyons and John are going to back off. Not that John needs to back off. He's a different cat. But let me take that finish spot up there for the KOM points. And I guess there's no need to slow this down. We'll just take a look at what the finish paces are. Temple KOM finishers. Sherry, absolutely no surprise. Austin, again, kind of like the wild card in this race. Kind of glad he took points off ATP, but I need to finish ahead of the ATP to make it worthwhile. So with Austin second, Thomas in third. I managed to pull off a fourth, and Lyons pulled off fifth. So once again, ATP taking way too many points and way too high up on these segments. It's really getting to be a problem, and we are not going to catch them as we head on into the finish. But all we can do is the best we can and see where the numbers fall out at the end. So now we're at 39K. We have to get to 53 to finish this off. There is some nice easy riding. We ended up with Brian Mudge catching us, so the four of us here ended up riding in together. The rest of the team did an amazing job getting me this far, but that temple climb proved to be a little bit much. But it is really appreciated, guys. I could not have gone that far without you. We were all feeling pretty good here. We actually enjoyed some really good conversation as we're heading on in. We have 2 climbs to go, and we also have that nice descent coming up here, which is going to let us catch our breath. We also knew that since we're about a minute ahead of the current rider behind us, we did not have to push this, so we were purposely trying to stay under 2 watts per kilogram on the road here, trying to freshen up our legs to ease up those climbs. We have one more sprint right at the finish. Just at this point, it's just covering ground, and we're just trying to make sure that everybody stays in the draft and that no one ends up getting their legs too exhausted, because what we've got now is this is the team that's going to set up the train for me to get through that sprint, and we already know we've lost the finish points. So the only thing we can do at this point is to try and take the first place finish on this and grab points away from ATP and hope that the math works. But those finish points are starting to get expensive because they're 4 points per spot, and looks like we've got 4 riders off the road, and then we've got 5 riders up ahead of us, and that's a big number to try to overcome, especially when we saw ATP grabbing so many of those segment points that we went through. So we're heading back down to the beaches. I was happy to get back on tarmac here. I did not have no one's running with gravel bikes, so it's great to be back on something that gives us some speed. And it's a rather long way around. I mean, how do I fill in all the information that goes into a 53K race? We're starting to push 20 minutes on this video. It is a long one, but so was this race. In fact, if you want to see this race live, full and its real speed, I believe Brian Mudge was broadcasting live on YouTube, so you can go over and watch that. And he actually had all of our chatter that went on the race talk. So if you want to hear some of the conversations at different points of the race that were going on and what we were trying to do strategically, that is all available over there. In this case, we're just trying to get through this. There's our climb coming up through there. I forgot the name of that one, but it's a little corkscrew, and it's just enough to make your legs hurt a little bit. And here we go, heading up the final climb of the day. At the top of this climb, we have a sprint. We've got 2.5K to go. We got 1:20 for the closest guy behind us. So again, we're like, no sense going fast. We're trying to keep it under 2 watts per kilogram on this climb, get everybody's legs fresh as we get ready for the final burst. And there I thought one of our guys caught us, but nah, that was a B rider just flying by us heading into his finish. In fact, I thought Morgan had caught us, but no, Morgan's still 2 minutes back. And again, I appreciate all the effort that you guys back there did. I mean, I could not have done it. Hauling me up that rooftop climb was amazing because I was really struggling through that thing. And there's nothing like having a good solid team coming and helping you out. We're talking about maybe we can do this for the next Herd Summer Racing League for all those events. That would be a lot of fun. And now we're trying to set up for this final sprint that's coming in here in about 1/2 K. So the plan right now is that we're tired. Everybody's tired. I know we've been trying to rest as much as we could. But the plan right now is to try and diesel up from about 200 meters out from the start point. Rather than throwing it down all at once with some high power, we want to have the highest velocity we can to go through this. We're trying to get our team alignment right. We're trying to get this train, and here we go. We're starting to pick it up here, and we are off. And of course, that was small enough for a little sprint that I can get some red numbers. Again, I have got to get first place just to try to move up the GC standings on the road here, not the overall. And here's how that finished. We actually have Kent Smith from the herd who was helping us out. He was way back there, so as he was finishing, I was yelling at him to go faster and faster. And he came in first, which was awesome. I came in second. So taking that point didn't really matter that much. Sherry came in third on that race. Ed from ATP came in fourth. And then Lyons, the new herd rider, came in fifth. So we did a much better job taking 3 of the top 5 on that one. So there on the screen right now are the finish for on the road. And looks like Williams came in first. Like I said, he popped in here out of nowhere, just last minute sign up. Sherry second, Thomas third. Ed came in fourth, and Ernst from the herd came in fifth. I'm coming in sixth on the road. So that was a lot of points I gave up. There's 20 finish points that I gave up. So let's take a look at GC. So for the GC standings, we have Sherry coming in first on the road, Thomas coming in second, Austin came in third to round out the podium, Ed ATP fourth, I came in fifth. I was 8 points behind. That finish position just cost me way too much. So now we'll wait till the final standings come out for the series, and then we'll start another series soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Herd, great shout out for all the hard work you did.